What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Darian with White Glove Auto. We're just going to be doing a little PPF work on this Lambo back here, so let's hop right into it. All right, so first things first, I'm going to just start prepping the area because a common issue is you're going to have contamination pulled into the panel. So whenever you put this on, you want to make sure it's as clean and as smooth as possible. Not only the area where we're putting the material on, but the surrounding areas, like the windshield and the hood and stuff. You want to make sure they're as spotless as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on doing that.
Hey, what's up, guys? Myron here, owner of White Glove Auto, and we've got this Lamborghini Huracan behind us. And what we're doing for this customer is we're doing a full front XPEL paint protection film package just to help guard against rock chips on the front end of the car, the most high impact area of the car. What you're gonna see is you're gonna see my team installing the film, and then we'll get some awesome drone shots.
In this case, I'm using just like what we call like a drying towel. I want it to have like as few fibers as possible. One of the issues we have is if you have like an old towel, it might have some loose fibers or something, and when you're cleaning it, you're actually leaving like some lint or something, and that's just an issue we want to minimize as much as possible. So this is going to be the fender piece that we're going to be putting on. What I'm doing is I'm just getting it loose on the board, and then I'm just spraying it with a little bit of gel so that it's up here, it's ready to go, ready to be transferred onto the car. Just do a little half and half so that it doesn't get stuck to itself or anything. But when we're ready for it to be put on the car, it's already loose on the board, and so we can just carry it right over and get started. So what I did here is a little thing. It's basically like a pre-spray. One of the good things about the XPEL gel is it kind of pulls the dirt out of like the edges and stuff. Whenever you're squeegeeing it out, it like collects all that dirt. One of the things you can use it for is the edges where dirt might be vulnerable to coming into the panel. If you pre-spray that, it'll pull it out. And then once you rinse it out, you're getting rid of all of those contaminants that might be affecting your panel. Yeah, I mean, normally I'm the vinyl guy, so a lot of the stuff you see here, it's like a whole basically vinyl tool belt. I have a few miscellaneous things. I'm using a lot of these today, and then some miscellaneous like PPF squeegees and stuff like that. So you'll be seeing a lot of those. Different sprays. You have tack solution for some edges that are not going down very well, and then a little XPEL gel, isopropyl, just miscellaneous things. Have different uses for stuff around here. All right, so I'm just gonna do one last little wipe here on this panel. Just want to 100% make sure that there is nothing on this panel that I do not want. This being a light color, it's gonna show any kind of, contamination, any hair, any fuzz or anything. So we gotta be extra cautious. You do whatever it takes to get the shot, Turn it up. So we use a program that has all the templates on there for us, and what we do is we use a plotter. You just pick the template for the make and model. It basically has the exact fender, the exact hood, or whatever you need, and we plot it out, and you're left with this, where it is a exact shape, made for this exact car and this exact car only. The main difference between this one and like the other vinyl ones is this one is, rubberized, but the vinyl ones are kind of like plastic, and that would actually be really harming this. It'd be scuffing it up really bad. So if I'm just like putting normal like vinyl on a car, then I'd be using those instead. But since I'm doing PPF over here, you just gotta pick like a more specialized tool. I've been working here since I started here in April of last year, so a year and a few months. I have like 3 or 4 years of vinyl experience prior to this. I kind of worked in a couple shops before this. I never worked in a shop like this one, where we had, such a high quality of work, higher expectations, so it really pushes you to get better. That's what I like. I'm not just moving from one place to another to just, kind of stay in the same place. You're doing something and it's like you can get like some cool like squeegee strokes or some cool knife cuts or something. Plus it shows like all these like tight areas that we're working in, really gets people inside our heads. Yeah! Yeah, so I'm just rinsing off the gel, kind of clear the panel so I can see if, you know, there's any liquid that I missed or, you know, a significant contamination spot or a bad lineup. Because if there's anything you need to fix, you want to fix it ASAP before it dries up, and then it's even harder to deal with. You pick it up, at that point you might get like a pretty bad lift line or something. It's like any rock chips or scratches or anything. It's pretty good. Like, it's actually pretty crazy how protective it is, and on top of that, it's kind of self-healing. So like if you scratch it up or something, you know, heat over time, it'll, you know, kind of flatten those scratches out. It'll be kind of good as new. That's just one of the things we like about it. I believe next I'm going to be knocking out this this hood right here, and then I think later on today we are going to be attacking the bumper. The bumper is going to be kind of a challenge. There's a lot going on there, and it's a custom carbon fiber bumper. We're going to have to do our best work, make sure that A+ line up on everything. There might be very, very slight differences, and so we might have to tweak like stretches and stuff like that and how we line it up. We really don't know until we get the piece on there what we're going to be dealing with.
Been losing all momentum just because it's easy.
It sounds kind of fancy, but you know, it's just isopropyl alcohol. Like, you could just go to CVS and get 70% isopropyl. The solution over here, it's like a 30% or so mix, and we just kind of dilute it with water. So it's not as harsh, but the alcohol water mixture, it still does help for the edges to adhere. You know, if it's not sticking very well, you throw some of that solution under there, and it creates that extra like little bite down that we need.
Back to 95, before we had this drama in our lives, just staring at the screen every day and night. I miss the rush of living in real life. Go get your DeLorean. Oh, I miss the summers with you and never swipe left to right. Ah, snuck in your window.
All right, so I'm just trying to get this template lined up exactly how I want before I really start going crazy and squeegeeing all across the middle and everything. So I got my little reliefs here, and I was just making sure that those are right on the corners where I want, and then I had to put a little stretch to get this corner where I want as well. Like pretty tough is whenever you are, you know, working on PPF, like you can squeegee over something and you're like, okay, that's good now, but that's not necessarily the case, you know, because the liquid, after you squeegee through something, it can just like kind of work its way back in there. And so like I'm doing this groove right here, you can't just squeegee it one time. You know, the liquid in the surrounding areas and everything, it can just crawl right back in there. So I have to go over this groove pretty thoroughly and make sure that I don't have any bubbles or anything in there. So it gets pretty tedious whenever you have to go through like some small areas like this. This one's not too bad. You know, this is fairly light. Some areas on some, you know, different hoods and, you know, other parts of the cars, it can be kind of overwhelming. Film to you know, go around those contours and those, you know, really round curves and things like that. It just takes a little practice. Yeah, you know, I get a little practice in, and then they're like, hey, can you put a, you know, PPF on this Lamborghini? You know, can you put PPF on this McLaren and all this stuff? You know, and at first that is pretty intimidating, because it's like, you know, you just want to do as good as you possibly can. You know, like anything, you know, you just practice and you just keep getting better and better, you know? You can't really let that intimidation get the best of you. To make sure that the cut is a safe cut is you can hear it squeak while you're gliding across the PPF, and that's how you know you're going through that like first layer, but you're not going all the way through to the paint. You're not making contact with the paint. In a way, you're almost like perforating it, not all the way through. It can get trapped in there, you know, and if it's, you know, towards the middle, we're not going to pick it back up. I'm just going to use a little syringe here and very delicately just get some of that fluid out of there. Like a flat plane plotter, and you just have the software and it sends the file to the plotter and cuts out like the shape, and has a blade on it, and like it has all of the sensors on it, and it basically to very, very, very fine increments cuts exactly where it needs to be. Like it's what we use for all our decals and stuff too. Extremely precise comes to the cutouts and the templates.
Microphone check. 1, 2. Can't nobody out here do it like me. I'm one of a kind, I'm like a rare breed. A breath of fresh air, you can see me. People stand up just to greet me. Role model, kids wanna be me. Listen now, later you'll believe me. Got you under my spell, the whole thing was easy. I just come and wink my eye like a genie. Put my crown on, y'all little peasant can king me. I'm irreplaceable, the different one. Since I was born, I was the chosen one.